Greetings, loved ones. Today we are going to talk about escaping violence with older children. This is an interesting aspect of leaving. With babies, you can just grab them and take off. We need to talk more about escaping violence with older children because fleeing abuse with adolescents and teenagers has its own unique challenges. To help get these messages out, please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notice bell, and please share these messages with others because you never know. Just by doing so, you could save a life. Escaping domestic violence when you have children is always difficult, and sometimes there are specific challenges you'll need to plan for if your children are adolescents or teenagers. Here are 3 and how to plan around them. The first one is not all shelters accept male teenagers. Ours does not. We only accept boys up to 10 because there's a conflict that goes on when you get into boys over 10. So while the Family Violence Protection Services Act in the United States requires any program receiving its funding to accept all genders and ages, depending on how they're staffed, some shelters may only take male children under a certain age. Usually the limit is somewhere between 12 and 18, says Anita Martin, MSW, former domestic violence advocate and creator of Love magazine. She says it really depends on the size and staff resources of the shelter. Like I said, with ours here in Honduras, we limit it to 10, sometimes we go to 12. Age limits on males, they're not meant to be a barrier to leaving, though it can make escaping more difficult. So what do you need to do? There are many shelters that accept children of all ages, so start by calling larger shelters with more staff, as they're most likely to accept male children. If one doesn't, ask for a referral to a shelter that does. In an emergency, another idea would be to ask a close friend or relative to house a child until other arrangements can be made. You can also go to the domesticshelters.org website and search for a shelter near you. Then check its demographics section under population served. This will indicate if they accept teens, but it's always a good idea to call and double check. A second difficulty is that adolescents and teens, they now have their own activities and commitments. So more so than younger children, older children are likely to have a network of friends, be more mobile and independent, and be involved in extracurricular activities, and they may even hold jobs. Escaping domestic violence can be especially difficult for them if they must cut such ties suddenly or have their freedoms reduced. Living in a shelter is challenging for children of any age, but especially adolescents. They have a high need for social interaction, and putting them into a shelter environment where they have to restrict that or build new relationships can be extremely difficult. So what do? Remind yourself that no matter how painful it is to see your children sad to be away from friends, you are doing the right thing by getting them away from an abuser. They will benefit in the long run. And because every situation is different, it's impossible to say whether your child will need to change schools, activities, or work. In some cases, simply making arrangements for another trusted adult to take your child to and from these places is workable for you. In other cases, where safety of the child may be compromised, he or she will likely need to cut ties, at least temporarily. Many shelters offer counseling to children to help them understand what is going on and to build their self-esteem. Teen support groups and activities are also helpful so they can bond with other kids in similar situations. So a third difficulty in leaving with adolescents is that technology can put them and you in danger. Once you leave your abuser, you'll need to be extra careful about not letting him or her know where you are. In fact, most shelters have strict confidentiality rules to protect their guests. Here, we ask them to tell nobody. Family members, if they talk to them on the phone, or friends, or other people, they are not to tell them where they are, so we don't end up with these guys at our doors. It can be difficult getting teens, however, to comply with such rules, as they may not fully understand the extent of the situation or what might tip off the abuser to your whereabouts. Something as simple as a Find My Device app on your teen's phone could lead your abuser right to you. So what do? Talk to your kids about why keeping your location secret is important. Work with them to turn off all location-based services on their devices, including their laptops, their cell phones, and their tablets, and discuss not checking in at places or posting anything on social media about where they are and what they're doing. Now, they could post things after if you approve them. That would be something you'd need to look at. So if you're looking for a shelter for you and your children, you'll no doubt have lots of questions before you get there. So domesticshelters.org has a lot of great information. And I want you to go up there and check out their article called Important Questions to Ask. That's domesticshelters.org. With 1 in 3 women experiencing domestic violence worldwide, the question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. You're called. We are all called to be champions for justice, and those who suffer violence need to know that those who love them and those who don't even know them will reach out and step out to them to give them the help and the courage they need to leave before it's too late. So help us get these messages out, so if you encounter a victim, you'll know how to recognize them and how to help them. Or if somebody's suffering violence, they will recognize it and know how to get out themselves. So subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others. If you're a victim of violence, I want you to listen to me, because you have been told lie after lie after lie. So I want you to know the truth. The truth is that you are valued, you are loved, you are intelligent, and you are beautiful, and God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence and peace and tranquility. There is a way out. It's not your fault. Abuse is not love. And if you are a victim of violence, please reach out to somebody. Keep reaching out until somebody helps you. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 and bring that help to you. Monday, in our next episode, we will talk about safety planning with your children. Until then, God bless you.